Hey everyone, welcome back to the garden. Today we're going to take the opportunity to get some planting done. We have a very small window today. Today is Thursday, August 29th, 28th, something like that. Usually I am off on Thursdays, or usually I'm working on Thursdays, and my husband takes the opportunity to kind of be off from planting because he also golfs after work with his friends. But because I'm off today, we're going into Labor Day weekend and I'm working pretty much all weekend, we're going to try to get just a couple of things planted today. You can see got a couple of Incrediballs. They're going to go up in the new bed. So I'm going to turn you around and I'll tell you a little bit about how I got them. So as I said, I got a couple of Incrediballs at work, hydrangeas. One of them, they were both on the clearance rack. One of them I got for free, so it was $25. And the owner had said, anything on that clearance rack you see you want, take it. So I said, careful what you wish for. So I did get the second one. When I bought the first one, there was only one there. And then another one showed up, but I was talking to him about the bed, the new bed that we had created, and that I was going to put the Incrediball up there. And he said, there's another one down there if you see it, whatever you want, take. So I do have two. I also got a groundhog chokeberry. I'm not going to get that in the ground today. We have lots of places where we can use a groundhog chokeberry to control some of the runoff and to be one of those plants that can handle the winter wet. But I'm not exactly sure where we're going to put that yet. But as I said, short window of opportunity today, so we're going to take that chance and get these two Incrediballs in. So come garden with us and I'll show you where they're going to go. The new bed we had created, with the skip laurels and the blue point juniper, that's where the two Incrediballs are going to go. So if any of you watched the late August tour, I had said that the Flame Thrower Redbud is going to move up here. I think that's going to go closer. I don't know. I don't think I want to put it where the crabapple is, but we might not really have much of a choice. We'll see. The two Incrediballs are going to go here at the edge. And then the flamethrower, we have a bit of a dip here. I don't know if that's showing up on camera, where the pipe runs from the rain garden into the drainage box, and these stones. We'll have to be careful about what we plant there. And I can see that the mulch and the soil has settled a little bit, which is good because it shows us where it is. It doesn't leave a lot of room though. I mean, the pipe's not large. I think the area that has settled is wider, much wider than where the pipe is. And the flamethrower is quite small at this point. It's still, so those Incrediballs will fill up quite a bit of room up here though. So I'm going to place them, see what it looks like. So I wasn't surgical about this, guys. I just took, as you saw, hopefully you saw, like the dead and dying yellowing leaves off. Some of them had already started to develop new blooms. Like you can see, I think you can see right there, I took two leaves off. There's a lot of new growth in that joint. Let me see if I can get that. Right here, so I took a leaf and a leaf, and you can see all that new growth there. I took a leaf off here. There's a lot of new growth. I didn't do anything on this one. This one looks a lot better. So kind of excited to get these into the ground. I forgot to bring a watering can up, but my husband thinks we're going to have time to get the Flame Thrower Redbud transplanted today, so we'll see. I feel like getting that out of the ground is going to require some precision because it's really tucked in and amongst some perennials and annuals. Really don't want the caladiums to be trampled, but we'll see. He thinks it's going to happen, so let's go look at that real quick. Okay, so here's the Flame Thrower Redbud. It is at the edge of our Thin Man bed. This is where the Goldspire Ginkgo is going to go, because the Ginkgo will only get, although they'll get the same height, the Ginkgo will only get 6 feet wide, whereas this Flamethrower has the potential to get like 15 to 20 feet wide, which would shade out quite a bit of what we already have in here. But when I say we have to use some surgical precision, now, I'm not really concerned about the Amsonia. That's a perennial. You can't do much to kill that, but you can see we have a couple of caladiums and a begonia. Now, I guess if the begonia has to go, it's okay. We can replace it with a fall annual, but the caladiums we are trying to save. We're trying to dig them all up this year and save them so that we don't have to buy them every year. They are quite close to the root ball. But we'll see how this goes. All right, but let's go up to where the action is going to be right now. Just getting prepared. We got our auger. Did have all the grass taken out from here, so I don't know. We'll see how easy it's going to be to auger. None of our ground's easy to auger, but maybe without grass it might be a little bit easier. We can cross our fingers. Full of rocks, as usual.
I have no idea what that was from. Probably the birch tree. Well, I don't know what else it would be from. Not much we can do. It's possible.
These plants really are pretty well taken care of at the nursery, even though they're on the clearance rack. People do go by, water them, prune them up, so they should be fine. I'm guessing they're probably just a little root bound. That's generally what the problem is when plants get put on a clearance rack. It's just because they've been in the containers for too long. These are already in a 3 gallon, so you know, most garden centers are not going to pot up deciduous shrubs from 3 to 5 gallons. I mean, I guess it does happen, probably pretty rarely. I am more than happy to rehab plants if I get them for free or 50% off. now comes the fun part. I really don't think this is going to be an easy transplant. Did we plant that this year? No, last year. So it's only been in the ground for a year, but it's put on quite some growth. I think we got the spot where we want to put the flame thrower, just in front of the pipe. Where the mulch is kind of piled up there is where the pipe runs, but I don't want it right on top of the Incrediballs. Right now we have it in a bucket with some water. Hopefully it's okay. It's a nicely shaped tree. So in the meantime, while my husband is digging the hole here, I am going to go and water the ginkgo so that we can get that one planted as well.
Than it needs to be. So,
yes, way deeper than it needs to be.
So let me go ahead and fill some of it back in, and then I'm assuming
you're gonna put it back in the thing.
Are we gonna go this way?
No, because I don't want that branch. Yeah, maybe.
I'm just trying to get an idea where this is gonna go in relation to this pipe, but that's fine. I'll start filling in some dirt.
No, trying to see what it looks like. I don't want the branches that are coming outwards at the bottom, the lower branches, to start interfering with the Incrediballs.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't care if they interfere with the laurels, because the laurels are quite shade tolerant. But I mean, that looks good from here. I mean, in time we might just have to prune that one branch that's coming out. I almost feel like that branch, that lowest branch, well then if you turn it that way, this is going to be here.
Or I turn it slightly more that way.
Yeah, but then this branch is going to be right over this Incrediball.
Which branch?
This one.
No, I'm talking slightly this way.
Well, I want to make sure it looks right from the house. That's where we're going to be viewing it. Yeah, that's fine. I still think at some point that lower branch is going to have to be pruned.
Because it's coming this way.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get under it with the mower. But that'll be a few years. Okay, so we got the Redbud transplanted, obviously the two Incrediballs. We're going to leave the sprinkler on up here for a little while, and then you see the two laurels and the juniper. The crabapple will come out next year. There's no need to transplant that at this point. So it's exciting to see this bed come to life. I know it looks a little odd with two trees, but just think next year with lots of more pretty plants in here. If I can get a hold of an oak leaf hydrangea this year, I will. One that's of size anyway. We don't have big ones at the nursery, so maybe I'll have to look for a bigger one online. And maybe concrete bird bath And I think that'll be it for this year. So now we just have to get the ginkgo in and see if we can save those caladiums and the begonia. So here is the Goldspire Ginkgo. We will be taking this out of this grow bag. The last time we planted something that we ordered online that came in a grow bag, it was just not very successful. Years later, we continue to struggle with the plant. Even though we dug it up and took it out of its own grow bag and replanted it, it's still just not doing well. Even though they say you can plant them in these grow bags and they will root out of it, our gold cone juniper just never did. So we want to give this ginkgo the best chance of survival. So we'll be taking it out, and it is columnar. I mean, I feel like everything on the side of the yard is columnar. That's because we don't have a very wide side yard, which is why the redbud had to come out. This is one of the few areas that gets full sun. We did not want all of these pretty plants to be shaded out. So this is, I think this is a 15 to 20 tall by 6 to 8 wide with really pretty yellow foliage in the fall. So we're just going to get this in the ground real quick. And it should be pretty easy because since we just took the Flame Thrower Redbud out of here, there's already a pretty sizable hole, and we'll just try to replant the begonia and the caladiums. So we got it out of that grow bag successfully. I can step back here a little bit. I mean, it definitely looks different from the redbud. The redbud was growing out. This one is growing up. However, this did win out in the poll that I put out several weeks ago, probably even a couple months ago. Put out a poll to see if you thought the redbud should stay here or if we should replace it with the ginkgo. Because my thoughts were that it should be replaced with the ginkgo because the redbud was going to get too wide. But when the redbud was in its beautiful red and yellow and orange leaves, I thought, wow, what a beautiful tree that is to have on the side of the house here. Everything looked green. But the ginkgo won out. So, you know, now we'll just have to wait for this one to grow a little bit. I do think in the end, this side of the house will be better off for it. I kind of like looking from this end up and just see the ginkgo peeking out from above everything. I'm actually just trying to see if it's straight, but it looks straight. All right, so we got the ginkgo in, and like I said, it just looks a little bit different from trying to walk on our dry creek bed in flip-flops is not easy. Looks a little bit different from the flamethrower because it's a different habit. It's a different tree. But I think in time, once it gets a little bit taller, put some width on, it's going to look really nice here, especially in the fall. It's called a Goldspire Ginkgo because it is a spire. It's columnar and it has it's supposed to have really, really pretty fall foliage, yellow foliage. So, kind of excited to see this grow. I'm really much more excited about the new bed. I feel like there's so much room in there for plants now. I'm really excited to get that planted up. So I hope you enjoyed coming along and gardening with us today when we replanted our redbud, replaced it with the Goldspire Ginkgo, got 2 Incrediball Hydrangeas in, and what else? Anything else? No, I think that's it. And thanks for coming along with us. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.